Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Pyreside Chat. I am Kwame Temple Mensa, and I'm joined not only by Mr. Kip Palmer in the background, making this beautiful production come to life, but a guest. I mean, this might be the first time you've ever seen him before.
Yeah,
But
no, I've never been on the stream. This is my first day on the stream. I'm nervous.
I mean, it's okay. You know, you're in good hands, right? But I'm going to introduce him to y'all in case it is your first time ever seeing him, which it obviously is. He is a key builder of the world of Immortal with his concept art, the creative lead, as well as a concept artist. He's the biggest and baddest of them all, Mr. Carpenter himself, Big Jon.
What's
What's
up,
up, my
everybody?
brother?
What
Oh,
is up?
man.
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, doing great. But yes, for those that didn't know, we were completely messing with you as I looked into some episode appearances, and it seems like you just might happen to be the record holder of the most Pyreside Chat appearances.
I might be. Who knows?
I think it's actual definite. So
Yeah.
hot damn. Oh, guys and gals, I'm so excited. This is going to be a really special episode here. You notice that we do not have another guest to the left or right of us. Usually, Big Jon is here doing some great artwork as well as accompanying me and interviewing somebody else. But today, we're going to finally get into the life and the history, the journey from Lil Jon to the Big Jon that he is today, man. And I think you guys are in for a super duper sick treat as we do have quite a few showcases, so some artwork, some surprises, and some sneak peeks. So
Yeah,
I'll
speaking of
pass it
which,
to
at
you.
the end of the show, we are going to debut the very first sneak peek. You guys know my Pyreside crew. We always do you guys right. We're going to be showing the very first sneak peek of one of the in-game voices. So stay tuned. We'll have
Chicka,
that,
chicka, chicka.
and then we will, of course, as always, have our raffle, so you can get a key to test out our wonderful game and play it.
Yes, please be sure to at least exclamation raffle. That has not changed. So that'll get you an entry in order to get an alpha key for Immortal. If you have not got one, or if you'd like to get one for your friends, family, and everyone in between. Pets. I know you have a pet. We were gonna talk about Brown. How's Brown doing today?
Brown's doing good. He's the frame is a little bit got him cut out. I'll see if I can get him in the frame here. We got a little sleeping Brown next to us. I can't tell if you can
Oh, I
see him,
see.
but
Oh, in the corner here.
yeah, let me see if I can. There we go.
Get in. There we are. All right.
Yeah.
So, man, wow. Well, let's get started, right? So, obviously, thank y'all for tuning in today. I obviously giving a huge shout out to Kip, who is doing the production as well. And yeah, we're gonna jump into this, Big Jon. So, man, yeah, we're finally getting here to figure out just who this guy is, right? The
Yeah. Who is this
history, the
guy?
man, the myth, the legend, right? Like from humble beginnings, eh, to humble present.
Yeah, so I've got
where
a
where
little
did you?
slideshow
Yeah.
of items prepared. I've got some I have a bunch of uh like pretty much like all of my old like childhood drawings that all the way up through like when I was little to high school. I've got a lot of them. Unfortunately, they're buried behind a bunch of different boxes, and I couldn't get all of them. I got some to show. I've got some really cringe early digital artwork that I can show as well, just for us all to laugh at. And then I've got some stuff that I'm working on at Sunspear. I got some Big Jon lore for us to share. So we got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm super excited. Yeah, I got the chance to check out some of it too, and just to see, I didn't realize just, I mean, how impressive some of this stuff is. That even you look at it and you're like some cringe artwork, and I'm looking at it like, geez, I couldn't even do a stick figure rendition of this if I tried. So, yeah, we will be starting off with Big Jon when when he was a little wee lad. with
Yeah,
big
there's going to be
dreams.
as soon as Kip switches the screen, there's going to be a very small John jump scare it's going to come
Yeah,
up. So be ready for that. Trigger warning. There it
indeed.
is. All right,
Yeah.
so that is I used to be not Big John. I used to be Small John. I was very into martial arts when I was little. I still am into martial arts now. I just don't do them.
Just
But
into them.
yeah, no, I think if I did martial arts now, the world would break apart. So,
Let's do
um,
it. We gotta
yeah,
take over,
so
man.
what is Small John's favorite drink? Milk. Um, so I was very into martial arts, and like around this time, I was like obsessed with Bruce Lee. So I was like doing like a Bruce Lee thing here. We've got some other compilations of Small
Now
John. This
this
is
I love.
I loved this this was like a king costume my mom made me that I fucking loved.
That is so yeah.
Um,
I want you to go through some
really well
detail.
done, by the way. Shouts out to mom.
Mom John.
Love her, Mom John. Um, and so yeah, I used to wear this little king costume around. Here's some other various Small Johns. We used to have this hallway in my grandma's house that I used to climb up. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm like Spider-Man.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
Um,
yeah, just looking at that one right there. Yes.
oh, sorry, which one?
I've done that. The
This
one
one?
in the bottom right, right?
Oh, so
Uh,
much fun, right?
you
Like,
know,
yeah,
the moment when you finally are able to actually be
feels
tall
like you
enough
have
to,
superpowers. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, there's another Small John.
Aw.
Uh, and I didn't get any pictures of it, but my mom used to. I don't know if make is the right word, but used to have me in this bowl cut that was awful, and I don't have any pictures of it necessarily, but it's yeah, there he is.
You need to bring him back, man. You know.
So yeah, I've been drawing and doing stuff since I was very little. My mom used to have this closet in our apartment that I would go into. It was like called like the
Wow.
thunder closet because I used to be very afraid of storms, and I would go into um, that closet and I would draw a bunch. My mom would have all these like drawing materials laid out for me in there, and it kind of like helped distract me from the storms. And so I would draw all the time. I couldn't find any of my really uh, old ones, unfortunately. I do have some very early ones somewhere in
Wow.
storage, but I couldn't quite find them. This is one. This one's from 2012. Actually, I was in high
Really?
school. Um, if I did have a lot of my old drawings, you would notice a reoccurring theme of knights and dragons. I
A lot of
have
medieval
always,
stuff, right? Big fan
oh
of
yeah,
like
always been into that.
fantasy,
Always been
medieval.
huge into that kind of thing.
Yeah, this is awesome. And you even said that too, right? Being afraid of the thunder and just running to the corner or in the closet and bam, this is like basically we can thank your fear of thunder and lightning for this
It
sick
definitely
development of
was
skills,
a
right?
place I did draw quite a bit.
Yeah.
Um, and you'll notice that I was very into Lord of the Rings, very inspired by that.
Oh, that's so cool.
This was I think it says in the corner '09. I can't remember, back in freshman year of high school. Um,
Wow.
and then there's some more very World of Warcraft inspired stuff. Uh,
Yep.
this was '10. Yes, that was sophomore year of high school.
So I was gonna say,
Um,
speaking of Warcraft in general, Alliance or Horde, what do we got?
oh man, I did a lot. So my the first character that I wanted to make was a Tauren warrior. So I was gonna be Horde. But then my
Hmm.
friend that got me into World of Warcraft said, "No, no, you have to be Alliance. You have to be this." And I was
Oh
like, "Oh,
no.
okay, cool. Well, I'll be like a Night Elf warrior." He's like, "No, you can't be warrior. I'm a warrior." So I was like, "All right,
Some
fine. You know
friend,
what?
yeah.
I'm gonna
Who's
be
this friend?
something that you're never gonna pick. I'm gonna be a gnome warlock." And so so I started as a gnome warlock, and that was my World of Warcraft character. And
Oh,
then
that is too awesome.
yeah, I did that for a while. Um, so I'm pretty attached to the alliance. Not gonna lie, but I would have
All
been
right.
horde if the
Yeah. What did hurt?
if my friend wouldn't have
Are you
persuaded me.
still friends with this friend? Is he still a friend?
I mean, I haven't talked to him in a long time. He's somebody that I
Rightfully
went
so.
to boy choir school with, who we will get into that here in a little bit. Um, so yeah, lots of nights, lots of characters and stuff. I wanted to,
Detail too.
when I was young, I wanted to like write a novel series, and I like started it a bunch, but I never really got very far. But what I found myself doing is I would like want to write the novel, but I was like, man, I feel like I want to draw the characters, so I would just draw the characters a bunch, and I wouldn't really write the novel as much, and that's about that. Um,
it's still incomplete though. We'll see it maybe someday.
okay, so fast forward to 2005. There's your boy right there, very pixelated,
Yes.
but you can see
Tell us
him.
about this.
Yeah, so in 2005, a choir came and sang in a church um, that was down the street from where we lived, and I didn't want to go, but my mom was like, "No, no, come on, you should go." And at the end of the concert, they said, "If any boys would like to come audition, we are the most prestigious boy choir school in the nation, and I think they're also the oldest boy choir school. And it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. If you audition, you're not guaranteed to get in, but if you are chosen, then you'll come and live in New Jersey and be in the school until eighth grade." So I auditioned just for fun, and I think it was like out of like 50 kids, I was the only one that was called to come do an overnight stay. And so I went up there, and I was like super, always like very like homebody kid. I never really left the house, did never want to leave the house, and I like had
Uh-huh.
never been outside of Tennessee,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
except for I was born in Iowa, but like when I was like a few months old, we moved to Tennessee, and I hadn't been outside there since then. So I was very much not used to being out of my comfort zone, and going to boy choir school was a huge leap out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Um,
Jersey,
and
big difference
so,
in Tennessee too.
oh yeah, very
Yeah.
big difference. New Jersey is absolutely very different from Tennessee. Um, so yeah, 2005, I went there. I was accepted into the school, and then the day that I actually got there to do my like visit stay, there weren't many people there because most of them were actually singing at the Oscars with Beyonce.
Wow.
It was the
Yeah, they
2005
weren't kidding though. Yeah, the
Oscars.
most prestigious.
Yeah, the 2005 Oscars, they were invited to sing something on stage for one of the movies, and it was with Beyonce. And so I was like, wow, this is super cool. I got to join.
Yeah.
So of the coolest things that I got to do, one of them was I got to sing. So Paul McCartney wrote um, he composed this big orchestra, and we got to sing that in Carnegie Hall.
Yo.
I'm somewhere right here. I'm one of these pixels. Um,
What?
and then here it is. Here's a picture. Here's Paul McCartney, and then I think I'm over here somewhere.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah. Let's go.
yeah, yeah. But
Wow, that's
that
so
was
sick.
cool.
Yeah.
That was a really cool experience. My favorite experience though was um we got to sing Mahler's Eighth Symphony of a Thousand, and that was
Hmm.
in Carnegie Hall as well. That was my last year at Boy Choir School, I believe. That was my favorite experience because if you haven't heard of it, big big recommend from John. Look up Mahler's Eighth ending. It's the ending of his Symphony of a Thousand. It's really cool. It was very awesome to be in the middle of that because it really is 1,000 people in the orchestra and in the
Gee,
choirs. Um, so that
we
was
get
a
to
lot of
hang out
fun.
too. Like this is
Got to
just
do a lot
eighth
of fun
grade,
stuff
just
there.
chilling. It's Paul
Um,
McCartney.
and yeah, I feel like I'm speeding through this. If you have any questions or anything, please feel free. So sorry if I'm going a little fast.
No, you do got quite a few pictures, but like that was something that I was so interested in as far as like just something I never knew or guessed about you, right? And it's so cool to see, right, the different aspects of art. Like you go, yeah, I would draw a lot too growing up, and then yeah, I decided like I'm just gonna join a chorus here, and
Yeah,
for
yeah,
that grand finale, right? Like that must be so cool to actually have that like play out. Like it wasn't just like a cool experience. Yeah, just went to school, didn't like it, dropped out, or I don't know, something that I just wouldn't expect. And it just blew my mind that it's so cool to see that it was a really awesome experience for you.
yeah. It was a lot of fun. There was a lot of really like very growing moments for me in boy choir school, and I learned a lot about um just dealing with stress, and
Hmm.
every part of the day was always scheduled from like waking up to going to bed, and it was very, I'm not going to say
Rigid.
like necessarily military like, but a lot of the
Like discipline,
structure
right?
of
Like
it was actually based
rigid
off
structure.
of like military stuff. So it was very, we had lots of like military terminology we used and all that stuff. So it was very rigid and very out of my comfort zone, and it was great. Um
Yeah.
we got to do some good stuff. And yeah, and I was there until 2008, which is when every boy choir attendee graduates in 2008. Um and it was cool. Um so yeah, and then I came
Sick.
back to high school, and I was pretty much, I did choir my high school year in Tennessee, and man, I was tired of choir. I was like, you know what, I've done the choir thing.
Yeah, I can
I'm ready to
imagine.
move on. And the one continuous theme that kept with me was just doing art stuff. Like it wasn't like I was like, I know I'm going to be an artist when I grow up. When I was little, it was just something that I did,
Okay.
and that I, like I always just kind of stuck with me. So kept doing art stuff, and then ended up joining band in sophomore year, which was the one of the best decisions I ever made. I had a blast. I met a lot of my friends
Nice.
there. Um,
Yeah.
and
And what did you play?
I was the bass drum. I did bass drum and marching band, and any kind of drum stuff is what I did. My father is a percussionist. He does all kinds of percussion and like xylophone, all kinds of stuff like that, and it definitely was in the veins. I took to it really quick, and I really liked it. It was a lot of fun. Um,
Oh man,
and
Science
then
Bay Band. I'm telling you, it's
yeah,
coming.
uh,
I love it.
oh
Discovering
yeah.
this.
After high school, I went to college as a fine arts major, and then went into painting. And so the thing I've got on screen right now is one of the paintings I did in my freshman year. Um, was very up until this point, I had not ever done um, any kind of painting of any kind at all. I had only done charcoal and pencil drawings. So
Hmm.
color was not something that I was really like familiar with. So you might be able to tell, but there was lots of like me trying to figure out color and stuff, and like not really, obviously not knowing how to paint. But there was
Well,
a
there's
lot
one
of
way to
lessons
learn
learned.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
This
mean, the
is
blood
one
at
where,
least is not like yellow. Yeah.
yeah. This is also my freshman year of painting. I just it's so cringy, but I love it. It was the
Oh, then I
project was
might
we
get
had to
jealous.
paint something that has to do with five, the number five. So I picked, of course, the Battle of the Five Armies from The Hobbit. I mean, of
Uh
course. Um,
huh.
and so I painted that, and then we got your Gandalf over here, and your Bjorn, and the
Yep. And
Eagles.
all of it. And
Um,
I give it a 5 out of 5 too. So don't even say
there you go.
it.
This was a really big painting. You can't really
Yeah.
tell, but it was actually like a
Oh,
huge painting. And it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot, and I also rushed through it at the end, of course, and procrastinated quite a bit, but we don't have to think about that.
but
Um,
still, yeah. Painting is
yeah,
what you started up in school, at least, like when you actually decided to pursue a degree.
yeah. And I graduated college with bachelor's in fine arts, concentration in painting.
Nice.
Um, but before I graduated, through all the way through high school, and or at the very end of high school, I got my first tablet for digital art. and then through college, I kept practicing my digital art, and then you can see here, this is one of my first digital art like breakthroughs, quote unquote, where like I kind
Yeah.
of learned a lot, and I still am afraid of color here, but but
Lightning,
I
thunder in color, but
yeah, this was right after I played Dark Souls for the first time. It was a huge
okay.
inspiration to me. I loved Dark Souls 1. Like really kind of changed um how I viewed like, just fantasy in general. I absolutely love Dark Souls. So this was one of my first kind of breakthrough digital pieces where I learned quite a bit. It's got like a really cringy blur tool on the distant here, which is like not necessarily how you want to do that. But um
it's so crazy, yeah, because someone who's not an expert in it, I just look at it and I'm like, oh my god, that looks so badass. And sometimes without the color, even it just gives it
thank
it
you.
gives it like another feel too, right? Like
Yeah.
big fan.
Okay, so this is another really cringy early. Okay. All right. So this sorry, I just looked at the chat. No, it does
Oh,
not
Pigeon
have a
Ranch asked
title.
if it had a title, right? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, sorry. It does not have a title. If you want to name these, whoever names it first, that's the official title for all time. Um,
Oh
so
yeah, Creative Corner. Name
this
Big
was,
John's art from when he was a kid.
yeah, yeah, you get to name it. This was the first. So when I applied for my first job, there was a game studio looking for fantasy kind of concentration artists. And they gave me a test. They said to do a dwarf that has potions as his ammo. And so I was like, oh, hell yeah, I can do this. And I had not really done anything with color before. And, like as anyone who's ever tried to do digital art knows very well, it's very intimidating because the possibilities are endless. You can make everything like, photorealistic. It's just all the tools are right there at your fingertips. It's not like you don't have the expensive brushes or
Right,
whatever.
paint a
It's all
bit.
there,
Yeah.
And so this was this was the result of one
I love it.
weekend of no sleep and me being like, yeah, I'll do it. And I turned this in. I did actually end up getting the job, but they didn't
Hell
pay
yeah.
me, so I did not stay around very long. Um,
But like,
but
yeah, you work for passion, yeah. You know,
yeah, no,
get paid in
that
passion.
that doesn't pay the bills, unfortunately.
Exactly.
If passion could pay the bills, then that'd be a different
Oh,
story.
imagine this world would be a better place. I'll tell
But
you.
so eventually, I started to get more comfortable with digital art, and I started doing little like just like sketches and stuff. I was like, man, I got to build up a portfolio really fast. And I
Hmm.
kind of like, of course, as I always do, rush through some things and um, like continue to explore different processes. I learned there wasn't any kind of digital art program at my
Yeah, I
college.
was gonna ask.
Yeah, no, none of my professors even knew what digital art was. They thought that video games nowadays were like Mario. They thought it was like
Oh,
all,
okay. Oh, that's it.
yeah. They had no
Just.
idea. They were like, so why would a game need art? I don't understand. And I was like, oh man, oh god.
Jeez.
So I kind of like,
The disconnect. Yeah. Oh man.
yeah. For my for college, I did a lot of like trying to teach my teachers about what digital art was, and then have them critique it as though they would a traditional painting. And they kind of still
Okay.
didn't really get it. Some of my teachers thought that I like
I
would
love this.
scan my drawings from online or something, and they didn't understand that I was actually painting it. I was like, no, I'm
Painting it. Yeah.
physically painting it. It's just digital.
Oh no.
Um,
Yeah.
but
So how
this
did
is
you
a
learn though? I was gonna
reoccurring.
say, I
Sorry,
didn't mean
go
to
ahead.
interrupt too much. I didn't mean to interrupt too much, but like
No, you're
if there
fine.
wasn't much of a focus, at least at your school, what was like the best or most effective way that you were able to learn at least some of the technique, or was it more just
So all of the
hands-on?
learning that I did was from YouTube. Um,
Okay,
Shout
okay,
out to Trent Kanuga on YouTube. He's an excellent teacher, and Feng Zhu also on YouTube has a lot of really good stuff. But yeah, basically learned a lot of different techniques and things from YouTube and online. Didn't really know anybody else that did digital art, so I couldn't really talk to them. And
yeah,
it was very isolating. But lots of I was very hungry to learn because it was just so refreshing to be able to have all these tools. So this on screen is a like a reoccurring like moon owl character that I have done for a long time. And one of the things that I love to do with my art is to keep evolving it and keep it relevant over time. I like to keep
Mhm.
redoing some characters that I have just for fun, just to kind of like as kind of like a time capsule to see to check my progress and to keep things going in that regard. So you'll see him again. So the biggest resurgence in being able to learn and do things was in my junior year in college. I joined a project called Skywind, uh,
Yes.
and Skywind is a a
You said it was like a
it's like a mod
mod.
project that has been around for a long time and it's still going. And if you haven't seen any of the stuff of Skywind and you're a fan of Skyrim or Morrowind, Google it, uh, and you'll have a lot of fun seeing it. It's really really cool. It's basically um, a group of very passionate modders that are redoing every asset of Morrowind for like a modern Skyrim engine. Um, and
Okay.
if you're a fan of Oblivion, go look at Skyblivion. Of course,
Oh, there's
Skyblivion is also a very similar thing. It's the same deal. They're putting Oblivion in the Skyrim engine.
Skyrim and just yeah,
They're both
modernizing
really
it
awesome
and
teams. Lots of just really passionate people. So anyway, I got to design the steel. I got to do more than what I'll show, but this is just some of the
yeah,
things that I was able to do. These are the steel weapons and the silver weapons, and those are currently in Skywind. If you when Skywind comes out, and I think there's also some trailers that show these. You'll get to see these.
dude. Yeah.
Um, but I got to do those, and I got to talk with a lot of very talented 3D artists. Our current concept art lead Florian Frey also
Mm-hmm.
was in the Skywind team, and got to meet him. And my who I would say is was one of my early mentors for digital art, um, Yves Antoine, or Nexos as he was known on
Okay.
Skywind. He was a guy from France that was the art director for Skywind at the time, and he helped me a lot. He taught me a lot of stuff. It was like really awesome to have a digital art mentor at the time.
Oh, that's so cool. I feel like this like was this the first time really where you were able to be in a community that you could at least share the same kind of what learning energy as well as passion for digital art and having it be something that is translating into something that is playable,
Yeah,
um
yeah,
not just like a
absolutely.
piece, you know what I mean?
Yeah, when
um
when I got to see one of the things that I drew like modeled, it was
yeah.
crazy. It was absolutely crazy. It was like, wow, that's actually like in a thing now.
Oh man, so cool.
Yeah, it's wild. Um, Flicky with the great questions in the chat. How do you hang toilet paper over or under? It's actually over.
Yes,
In
there's
the
only one way.
like original like blueprint for toilet paper,
It shows it.
it's shows it as over.
Yep.
So there you go.
Damn, thank you. I was I was kind of scared a minute. That I'm like, Big John, come on. There's only one right answer for this one.
Oh yeah, no, no, I got you. So this is some more Skywind stuff that I worked on. With some trollbone armor. And oh yeah, okay, these are the Dwemer weapons. I got to work on those. That was a lot of
Yep.
fun. Um, and then okay, so this is toward the end of my college. I was still working on Skywind, and I wanted to stay working on Skywind because I knew it was like a really big opportunity and like a great way for me to practice my craft and have it be relevant. So what I did was I convinced my teachers to let it be my thesis. I
Aha.
was like, "Hey,
Smart,
I
smart.
can I work on Skywind as my thesis, and I'll like do some paintings that are like relevant to Skywind." This is obviously not used in Skywind anywhere, but it's just like I'll just do paintings that are like kind of relevant to it, and it'll all be. Mostly, it was just an excuse for me to keep working on what I was working on
Exactly.
Skywind,
Yeah.
and then
Oh,
every
that's so
once in a
good.
while I'd throw them a painting, and it was fine. So
They
that's
don't
what
need to know exactly what it is, but they're like, okay, this is the thing. All right.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
So yeah, I threw together this picture, and it was a lot of fun to work on. I would have preferred to work more on the actual concept stuff, but it was good for me to practice just actually putting together a piece like this, and I learned a lot from this kind of stuff too.
Oh, so cool.
So, uh, if we're ready to move on,
I was gonna say, speaking of
2018.
Skywind, right?
Yeah. So
Before we
two.
do,
So
let
yeah.
me
Go
just
ahead.
remind everybody about the raffle. So yeah, for those that are here, hope you've been enjoying the show so far. There is a raffle for you to get an immortal key! Exclamation raffle. If you type that in chat, you will be entered in order to get a key at the end of the show. With, um, yeah. So please do that up if you haven't had one, or if you want to share some of the love and joy of immortal with your friends and family. Hit that up and let's continue. Yeah,
All
this is
right. So
good.
so
This is
Yeti
good.
Yuppie asking a question that is really relevant to what we're going into. So 2018 rolls around. I've been working on Skywind at this point for I think 2-3 years,
Yep.
and someone from Skywind uh,
Hmm.
recommended me to someone named It Who Speaks, also known as Dylan Khan.
Who could that be? Oh.
And so
Oh.
this is some old lore here. This was in September of 2018. Dylan and I were talking, and he showed me a document, a super secret document that has a lot of the factions that were planned out. Um, lots of old different names on that document. I looked at it. I can't
Oh
share it
man.
right now, but
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
has lots of really interesting other, like, different things were called other, different factions were called things different from what they are now. But anyway, he was showing them, and I was like, oh man, I love them all. If I were to pick a faction, I would probably play Karath. And he was like, I was like, so what's like the first thing that we want to work on? Um, and he was like, actually, our first concept will be one of their commanders, the Arash of
Yes.
Reclamation.
And who is
And
that?
so that's
Hmm.
Orzum. So the very first weekend that I joined Sunspear, I started working on Orzum, and this was so I joined that Friday, and we started
Yeah.
working, and then I submitted this on Sunday because I was so excited
So
to
sick.
work for Sunspear, and I was like, all
Oh
right, how
man.
about this for Orzum? and, and this one, I'm really glad that we have moved to a different design for Orzum because this is
I just
like
love the concept of like the fact that
all
you
over
said
the place.
Friday, but you said Friday and then Sunday. This is what I came with, and
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, this kid's got heart.
Um yeah, I was
So
very excited to do uh to do this. And so this was the first iteration of Orzum, and yeah, it was basically just me, Dylan, and Javier, and I think Coulter may have also been a part of
mhm.
like the review council. I'm not sure, but we went through a lot of iterations.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
have all the iterations um here,
but
but
how far
I do
he's
have
come.
some
Let's just
iterations. So you can see we moved on to trying some different stuff, doing some various things. You can see Orzum begin to form,
hmm
and then this was the uh, probably the closest we got toward the end, and then we tweaked like a few other things for Orzum. This was before his shattered hand, um, and stuff like that. So that
it gets
is
more badass stuff.
the evolution of Orzum. Yes. Um, and early on in Sunspear, there was also an unreleased card game project that we worked on, um, and that was a lot of fun as well. Um, we it was like just like completely gear switching like the toolbox of working on some different things. Kind of like different styles, different. It was just a lot of fun to work on.
Like a different kind of
Different kind of vibe, right?
thing, right? Because you go,
Yeah,
everybody has like different like comes from different backgrounds of gaming too, and it's like, hey, let's just explore.
yeah. So
Let's
that
just
was a
look
lot
at
of
this
fun,
little
and
homie.
yeah, the little mole guy. I love the little
You
mole
get
guy.
Brown. Oh, okay, Brown, the character. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, this was actually before Brown. This is before
Yeah.
anyone even knew Brown. This was before I this. So at this point, I was still living in Tennessee, working for Sunspear.
Mhm.
Um, and here's some concept art of like a reward screen. This is a lot of
Okay.
fun,
Yeah, man.
and some more card stuff. Some concept
I
art
love
for
the
what the
eyes.
cards could look like.
The eyes are just they get me. I love it.
And during this time, I also kept working on the owl guy as well, as you can
Oh
see
yeah, the
here.
recurring character.
Uh-huh. He's still around. Um oh, we got a brown. So
Yes.
so yeah, it in I moved to Oregon in 2020, and we had like the Sun House, and the plan was to open an office for Sunspear there. And then all of a sudden, these wildfires happened in Oregon, and it was crazy. Um, and
Uh-huh.
then the pandemic happened right after that, and the all of our plans for making an office and all this stuff kind of went out the window for the
Right?
time
Just
being.
like, yeah, right.
It's still happening, but it was just on the, for the time
Just
being that
yeah, the world just flipped upside down, right? And it was
it
just,
really
and then
did.
it flipped again. It was like, okay.
And from those wildfires, though, this little goober on the screen was displaced from his wherever he was living, and I ended up taking him off the streets because he was getting bullied by the other cats that were displaced from the
Man,
fires, and I he got me through the
how could you
pandemic.
bully that
This little
thing? Come
cat, I
on.
know, right? He's too much. But yeah, had to have some brown screenshots on the slideshow.
Yeah.
Um, and
How old is Brown? You said, oh, we probably don't know really then, right? As
yeah, I mean,
how,
I'm guessing he's
get
like
an
5 or 6.
idea.
Um,
Look
but I'm
at this
not sure.
picture.
Yeah, I
Oh
know.
my god.
His little cross eyes. I love it. Um, so yeah, and then you know, like I've, you know, another thing that I, of course, that I don't have everything on here on the slideshow, but just some things that um, some people may not know about is, yeah, Tom
Uh-huh.
knows. Um,
Uh-huh.
I got to work, of course, on a lot of concept art. I had the privilege of working on a lot of very early Karath units, and you know, just we really kind of did like some lightning round stuff and designing units in the early days. But I also got to work on some other things. So the card game project was one. I got to work on the very early in-game HUD. This was interesting because we had an investor call coming up, and they were like, "Could we get like a mock-up of a HUD?" And they're
Oh
like,
wow. Okay.
"Cool. When do we need it?" And we're like, "Next week."
Nah.
So Javier and I stayed up all weekend, like for like 2 nights straight, working on this HUD, and I think it got used for like maybe a month, maybe I can't remember. I don't
Uh-huh.
know if anyone's ever actually played it
Off
outside
the
of the.
bat, you're right. You put your blood, sweat, and tears into it, and
But that's okay though. That's part of learning, and the way that their HUD
exactly.
is now is fucking awesome. So it was all.
Absolutely.
If this was a stepping stone to that, it is super worth it. Um,
I agree.
and but I
Yeah.
regardless, this was a lot of fun. Like I mentioned like before, like it's a totally different skill set. It was fun to work on and practice that. Um,
Yeah. It's
and
probably a bonding thing with Javier too, I would assume, right? Like that
oh yeah, shouts out
those
to Javier, such a G,
mhm.
just
Yeah.
working hard with me and staying up with me. He was awesome. Um, so and then you know I also got to work on the Advent cinematic, which was a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Um, got to work on the tabletop RPG, of course, concept
Yeah.
art book,
Dive
um,
into
all
his
kinds
here.
of fun stuff there. So then, okay, so this is cool. This is a series of images that I figured I could just show you guys. I know I've
I'm
showed
ready.
bits and pieces of them on the stream long time ago. I think,
Yeah.
or various pieces, but just to show you guys some of like our early process. This is the evolution of Mala. Mala went through so many iterations, um,
Huh?
and we didn't really have like a hardcore process back then. We just kind of like would just see what stuck and what you know, kind of feeling things out. We didn't even really exactly know what Aru was going to look like at the time. So
Just throwing it out
this
there
was
like to
just
get
yeah,
a
this
good
was just
idea.
completely shot in the dark. We knew that they were going to be plant people, and that's about it. So here's some early Mala,
It's a lot to go off of.
and then we're like, let's go a little darker. Let's go like a little more like Celtic Druid. So then here's some other Malas. And there's some stuff here that kind of somewhat carried over. We started to realize that we wanted her to have like a really cool mantle or a crown. Um, and then here's we like took it back to basics. We did some more silhouettes of like maybe, you know, something, and then we realized like maybe she'll be like uh elevated by like roots or something. So we
Yeah.
were thinking about that. We had some different ideas of like maybe like this is like the Isle of a Coolathon that's like in the middle of her
Uh-huh.
crown, or maybe it's like embedded in the crown or something like that. So um we had some very different explorations, still trying to figure out what colors. I remember one of the things we struggled with a lot is figuring out what colors we want the Aru to have, because in some of Javier's very early concept art that he did, he had this really cool white and red color scheme for Aru, and we were like trying to make that work, but also we wanted to have like a darker brown for like the roots, so trying to
Yeah,
figure that
the
out.
contrast too.
And then we did this, and we're like, man, this is really messy. There's like so many different materials. It looks very ugly. And we just were
Things
like,
going
no,
on, right? Yeah.
yeah, let's not do that. So then we were like trying out some more different like feelings. Like, this is too scary. This is too like Halloween. It doesn't have enough culture in it. So then we
Very
added in some like
terrifying.
Aztec inspiration, and we added in the roots and stuff like that. And then we were like, no, it's just still not quite there. So we tried some other
It's just so
exploration
crazy.
stuff.
Like this is like the journey of a concept artist too, right? Like this is something that I've just interests me so much, especially like when I had the interview with Benny, right? And just to understand what goes in to getting to that final point. It's just
Oh yeah, it's a lot.
so good.
And
It's like yeah. Oh
for
my goodness.
Mala specifically, it was multiple years of finding, and like of course, like concept art is should not usually take that long. This is more of like us figuring out our, because this wasn't just the evolution of Mala. This is the evolution of our process of figuring out
True.
how
Yeah.
we want to design a more, because Immortals are such a big deal
Hmm.
uh for the game, and so we like really trying to figure out like, you know, how do we fully design an Immortal. And so there was a lot of we got to learn how to cut a lot of fat in the process, and now of course the
Yeah.
process is much better. And we've got it much more streamlined. So this was kind of a breakthrough image of like, okay, we really like this like kind of look for Mala, and we want to kind of capture some of this. So did some more explorations to kind of rule things out of what we didn't want for Mala. uh did some face exploration stuff, trying to figure out what her like mantle would look like.
Yeah.
um
Oh man.
and then we did, oh, what do you know, more explorations of Mala.
Hey.
uh there's some pregnant Mala here, which I think is really cool. We didn't end up going with it, but I felt like it was a cool direction.
Yeah.
And then we had some other kind of like, what if Mala was like blind, or like her eyes were covered, and then like only the Isle of Akulathon could like
Oh, like see
is
through
what
it. Like
how she could see.
yeah,
um
yeah. It even gives a
and
little
then we started
bird
to kind of
vibes.
narrow in a little bit closer. um Here with Mala, we kind of like had this like the idea here being that this used to be when she was a part of the she was an Irritech priestess. This was like a sun motif, and then
Oh,
like
this
it
is
kind
so
of turned
sick.
into like a bone crown. And we kept pushing that, and then this is this was like the last thing I worked on um for Mala. Was like we got really close, and then I think it was iterated on a few more times after that, but then we finally found the final
It's just
direction.
yeah. And that's like when you look at it and it's like this is the one. Or at least like right? Once you're here, we're going on that. Where
Yeah,
the color scheme is there, I think, right still, and just the blend. It's not too noisy as far as the material that
exactly. Yeah.
make your body and stuff too. Oh
And I
man,
also included
yeah,
some other stuff in here. There was some like kind of like promotional, like just trying to uh make some cool stuff for promotional, or, you know, whatever. I don't think this got used very much, but this was a an image, an early image that I did. This is proto masked hunters. This is before we had the design for masked hunters. I I did this image of a dustman fighting, getting ambushed by mass hunters,
Completely
and
rocked.
yeah, in deep
Oh no, he's
deep
actually
Argo
he's
woods.
holding his
He,
own.
he he's holding up, but I think he's about to get
I don't
wrecked
think
by
he's gonna
this
make
guy.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the early idea was like the mass hunters could use their bow as like a sword, like they had like blades at the end of their bows,
Yeah.
and they would like swing it. So that was an early thing that never really got used much, but it still was a lot of fun to do. This was an early Zol thing that I did, where this is like uh, this is
Oh, my
not
favorite.
the final direction for Zol, but it was like we were getting kind of close, and we did like a promotional image thing for some investor thing. I can't remember, but this was a lot of fun to work on as well. Um, and then here's the latest iteration of Owl Guy. Owl Guy came back
Yeah,
again.
I was gotta come back. I was gonna come back. It's like
And
Sid
what?
from Final Fantasies.
Yeah. um, and so yeah, getting to like work on Sunspear stuff has always been awesome. I don't often work on like personal work anymore. Like I mostly just spend a lot of my free time working on Sunspear stuff. Some of the personal work that I do in my spare time has usually been for like my D&D characters. I started playing
Yeah, you had
D&D
a few of those.
when I was uh, in Oregon, and that was a lot of fun. This was like my first real like D&D character, um, and I really loved playing him, and that's kind of my excuse to draw something not related to work. I would work on D and stuff. Here's my current D&D character in the game that I
I love
play
it.
with Javier and Ian and Dylan. Shouts out to them. This is
Yeah.
my D&D character I play right now called Mouse. He's a lot of fun. Um,
Nice.
and yeah, so leading into the last section, we're almost to the point where we're gonna do the first sneak peek of the voices. So stick with us. Um,
Yeah, this has been
this is
so
some
cool
of
though,
the
John. Like honestly, I gotta say, like,
huh.
just I'm sure everyone's been enjoying it. I really hope because I mean, I'm like forgot the popcorn, right? Sitting here like just so like, oh man, this is consuming it all. Like this is so sick. So
um, so yeah, this is some of the stuff I've been able to work on recently for Sunspear. I have been working on a lot of audio stuff. I've had the privilege of working on, of course, the first voices for Immortal. We've got some other voices that are coming up that I've been working on, and then also working on music for Immortal, and just kind of getting the audio department somewhat the groundwork laid for that. Um, I've also been working on, of course, lots of stuff for marketing that I can't show. Lots of stuff that unfortunately I can't show today. But what I can show
yeah,
you is I've been working on pre-concept stuff and world building art. So one of the things that I've been working on is basically these biome pictures that are related to the different biomes of um, prehistoric and also just like closer to what we would consider the quote unquote modern of the game's setting, um, of like their
and scale and
biomes and what
everything too.
animals are in
Yeah.
different parts. So this is for any of our lore aficionados in the chat. This is a Shum, and this would be Western Shum right here. These are the kind of like biome creatures. This is like the mega apex herbivore.
Yeah.
Um, this is here's some like a meerkat beaver kind of thing for Western Shum.
And I love the Santa question. Like I'm sure he was gonna ask y'all how they taste.
Oh,
So,
classic Santa. Yeah, yeah. Uh,
because I know he's going down that path already. Here it comes.
yeah. Here's like the mid grade predator for Western Shum.
Oh,
Here's
that's
the
sick. Yeah.
apex predator for Western Shum. And this is just kind of things that just shape the biology and the story of these areas that will be coming into play in future lore stuff, future factions, all that kind of thing. Here's some
Yeah.
tubers that exist. These are some different plants that kind of feed some of the ecosystem here.
Hmm.
And then I'm working on currently southeastern Shum, which is more like tropical kind of Amazon River area. So we've got
Yeah.
this little like bat boy, and he sticks berries in his fur. Um,
Oh.
and then we got this like jungle wolf uh, badger thing, muscle badger, And then we got
This is
this
sick.
guy. This is the apex predator. It's kind of like an alligator, lizard,
Is that like a mouth in its
dolphin.
mouth too, kind of deal? Like that's like a
Oh yeah,
terrifying.
it's got a very scary mouth.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, and then of course I'm also getting to work on some very future stuff. And I won't talk much about this, but we're just working on the biology of some future faction stuff, which is a lot of fun to work on with Dylan and with other team members.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
So sick. Oh man, I love it. And just I was gonna ask you too. Are you familiar with Falcon King from our community as well? Who's been working a little bit with Dylan
Yeah,
to get some
yeah, I've seen some of
ideas of
those and
world
they're
building.
fantastic. Yeah, they're
Oh right.
fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Shouts out
I
to
was
Falcon King. Um,
indeed.
love seeing our community members get engaged and doing that stuff as well. It's always awesome.
So
Um,
cool.
all right, so before we get into the raffle, do we want to? Are we ready to show this very first sneak peek of some a voice?
I think we are. So for a last chance for y'all to get into this raffle, exclamation RAFFLE. Please, please. If you would like to get a key, I saw somebody in chat that was asking, man, I really wish I had a key to this game. Well, guess what? You totally can. Earthworm and Fire. If you're still here, type exclamation raffle in the chat, and we'll be drawing the winner. Shall we do the drawing of it after the show? Let's see. When shall we fade into black?
It's your call, Kwame.
All right. Yeah, as long as Kip is ready for it, I'm gonna give y'all a chance to enter the raffle, a final chance, okay? And yeah, so after this, we are going to be showing this very, 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 very hype vocal, and gonna be rating our great friend Neuro, who's doing a subathon. Awesome member of the StarCraft 2 community, but just been such an amazing stand-up person and big supporter of Immortal and Sunspear from the beginning on. So yeah, definitely go and show him your love after the show is over and after you are kind of riding on those hype vibes of what you're going to be witnessing, or at least auditorily experiencing, I should say.
Yeah, make sure we stick around
So
and give Neuro a cool raid. We
yeah,
got some winners here too
indeed.
for the raffle.
Yes, we do. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Seven, Lee Han Woo, Tycas, GG Gerald, and the Santa Claus. Congratulations on your keys. Please join our Discord and message Kip. Kevin Kip, I believe he's just Kip in Discord, and you can get set up with a client and be able to jump into the game. So, and Santi is offering to give away a key too. So, let me just type in the Discord. There you go. Thank you so much for the Discord. So yes, without further ado, Big Jon, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today already. But
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate you being here, hanging out with
and
us,
Big
seeing
Jon,
some Big Jon slideshow. All right, guys. So, just want to let you know the voices are going to be debuting properly soon. We're going to have a teaser at some point in the future, and we'll have, of course, more voice stuff coming out in the near future. So, make sure you keep an eye out on that for that.
indeed.
But because we love you guys so much, we really want to show just one voice line of one immortal just to give you a little sneak peek. So this is a voice line from Orzum, uh, and I'm just gonna go ahead and play it. Make sure that if you guys can't hear it, let me know.
Brace yourselves.
Here we go.
Stand firm, swords of Karath, for angels and empire.
All right, there he is. Hopefully
Uh
the audio came through all right.
huh. I hope so. And
I
on
think
that
it did.
note, it has been an amazing Pyreside Chat. Big Jon, oh, such a pleasure to finally be able to really have you tell your story and just show us all things that you're passionate about, and how you got, to where you are today. And, sharing these Pyreside times with you every week is awesome. but being able to talk to you one-on-one has been such a pleasure. So thank you. But
Thank you so
I
much.
think
I'm
I
seeing in
think I
chat
think the
they want
people
to hear
deserve. I think they
one more
deserve one
time.
more.
Let,
Yes,
yeah,
they do.
let's do it again. All right, here we go.
One more again.
Stand firm, swords of Karath, for angels and empire.
Ooh.
There we go.
Oh my God! It's just like a whole nother element. I can't even. Oh, beautiful. Alrighty. Well, that's gonna do it. We're gonna be rating Neuro. All right. So go in there with the force of Sun Spear, the positivity, and just the hype. Right. So he's an awesome, awesome individual, and yeah, show him your support. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next Pyreside Chat, which will be, I believe, it's the first Friday of August coming up. So that'll be in about a month's time. So yes, indeed. Much love to everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Big Jon. Thank you big time to Kip for doing the production. And we're going to catch you on the next one, y'all.
See you guys
Take
next time.
care.
And also for those in the chat asking how do you access the key, I think Kip will can we say something in the chat to help people that are still
Yeah,
looking?
to direct, yep, just joining the Discord. So, and then you will message Kip, K-I-P. So thank you so much. All right, well, that's going to do it. Yeah, we're going to be rating our boy. So until we meet again.
Thanks so much, guys.
Heck yeah. Take care, everybody.
See you.